Hi, it's Claire from Mouse Training here. Welcome to the preview of our Excel Introduction course. In this video we shall be running through some of the topics that you'll be covering on the course. This is all simple stuff. But you have to know this sort of thing if you are going to get anywhere with Excel. Let's have a quick look at what we'll be getting up to today. The first item on the agenda is data entry and formatting. Then, we'll look at creating simple formulas and, after that, charts. We'll wrap up by taking a quick look at two very popular topics, flash fill and conditional formatting. Today I have my colleague, Wayne Johnson, helping me out. Hello Wayne.
Hi there.
On with the show. Simple data entry and formatting is always the very first thing you need to learn. But it's only for absolute beginners, and you can always skip this section if you're already familiar with it. Here's my blank worksheet and I'm going to start typing data into the cells. You can type in text, numbers and calculations, which work with the numbers. Excel calculations are called formulas. Both text and numbers are called constants. Let's enter some headings across the top. We need Jan, February and March. I'll type in Jan and drag across to do the others. Did you see how I didn't have to type in the words for either February or March?
That's great. What else can you do?
This is Excel's custom lists in action. You get days of the week and months of the year as standard. And you can create your own. Let me do a few more. I'll type in Monday and then drag down for the others. Then, in the next column, I'll type in Fred and drag down. Hey presto! The Flintstones.
Claire, that's awesome. Show me. Show me.
Not now, Wayne. Hold your horses. I'll show you this on the course. Let's clear that and carry on with a bit more data entry. Bits of text down the side. Very predictable here. Tom, Dick and, I wonder what the third one is going to be? Yes, I think you've got it. Tom, Dick and Harry. And then we'll put some numbers into the worksheet cells. Typing them in. Easy stuff this, but it's not really exciting to watch.
Do we do much typing on the course?
We have to do a bit. But nothing as boring as this. It's just enough to gain confidence in making cell entries. We usually work with pre-prepared documents. The most typing we do is when we're creating formulas. A few more numbers to do. Nearly there. And I'm done. And now I'm going to add up those columns and rows. Let's put the word total in there. And then there. Click at the bottom of the first column. Then click AutoSum and enter to do the total. Now, drag across to do the others. Now I'm doing the same for the row totals. Click AutoSum to do the first one. And then dragging down to do the others. AutoSum is really easy to use.
So, you don't need to get your calculator out to do that sort of thing. You did one set of totals, then you did the other. Can you do both at the same time?
Yeah, watch this. I'll clear the ones I've done. And this is how you do them all at the same time. Bosh.
Wow. You did that really quickly. Can you show me again? You're shaking your head? I know what that means. You'll show me on the course, yeah?
Let's do some formatting, shall we? The first thing is to make the numbers look tidy. Select the cells and then we'll go up to the number format group on the Home tab. The comma style is the one we want. Doesn't that look good? Comma separators and 2 decimal places. Pounds and pennies.
Don't you mean dollars and cents?
Ha! Let's click decrease decimal twice for no decimal places. And finally, I'll make it look beautiful. Centering for the headings and making them bold. Bold for the totals. And maybe, I'll do italics down the side. And then some borders around the outside. All borders we had there. And now a bit of color. Let's change the color of the heading cells. You can spend hours doing this sort of thing. There's no right way of doing this, so long as it looks nice. What do you think? Doesn't it look good?
Man, that's cool.
Those totals that we just saw used the sum function to add up columns and rows of numbers. And a sum is probably the most common formula of all. But, there's so many formulas you can do in Excel. We'll start with the simple ones. Formulas either use functions, these are specialized built-in calculation routines. Or, you can create the calculations yourself using cell references and operators. Operators are symbols like plus or multiplication signs. I'll hand over to Wayne to show you how.
Here's my worksheet. I have my revenue and costs in columns C and D. And now, I need to calculate my margin and margin percentage in columns E and F.
Sounds a bit heavy, Wayne.
No, it's not too bad. Margin is revenue minus costs. And the margin percentage is the margin expressed as a percentage of the revenue. Got that?
Blimey, I think so.
Let's calculate the margin first. Click the cell in column E then. Enter an equal sign to start the formula and click on cell C3. See how Excel picks up the cell reference when you click. Now, enter a minus sign and click on the second cell, D3. Then press enter and drag it down to do the others. Wow! Margin percentage is next. Taking the margin and dividing it by revenue. And then showing it as a percentage. So again, starting in the right place, cell reference F3. Enter an equal sign. Click on the margin cell E3. Then, enter a division sign. And click on the cell in the revenue column, C3. Now press enter. It's the smaller number divided by the larger number. And that's how you show one number as a percentage of another one. But it shows it as a decimal. This is mathematically correct, but it's not really what people like to see. This is much better presented as a percentage. Most people prefer percentages, they're much easier to read and understand. All we need to do is to click the percentage style. It's right next to comma style. That shows the decimal value as a percentage. Then drag it down to do the others. All done. Good job.
Wayne, that's great. I love the way you can just click a cell to bring your cell reference into the formula. Is it okay to type in the cell references?
Oh yeah. But why bother? Enough already with the numbers. Next up is charts. This is all about showing data graphically. It's very good for people who don't interpret numbers so well. You show them a nice, pretty picture, and they'll interpret numeric values and see trends very easily.
A picture is worth 1,000 words.
Let's see. Here's my worksheet, and I want to do a chart to display the revenue and costs for each country listed in column B. Firstly, let's select the cells with the data that I want to put into my chart. I'll need the headings up the top, the countries down the side, and the numbers.
Wayne, are you going to include the totals?
No, I don't need the totals. I just need to compare the individual countries. Let's go and find the Excel Charts control. It's on the Insert tab. Just click the chart type you want. If you don't know which one you want, then click Recommended Charts.
I never know which chart is the best.
That's where Recommended Charts scores. You keep scrolling down until one of them appeals to you.
Ah yes, I see what you mean. Clustered bar looks good.
Yup. Works for me too.
Wow. That was easy. Can you change the chart title?
Yeah, you click in the text box and type something else in. Let's have revenue and costs by country. That was the hardest bit.
Typing is not your strongest suit.
Then, I'll click a different design in the charts gallery and move it away from the numbers. And that's my chart done.
Anyway, that's the sort of basic stuff that we do in our Excel introduction course. But there's so much more. Flash fill is a great favorite. This is all about working with data where you don't want to have to retype things all the time. I don't think you'll be needing flash fill every day. But you really need to know it's there for when you do need it. Because it can save you a huge amount of time. Let's look at an example. Here's my worksheet, and I have all my first and last names listed in columns B and C. Now, what I need to do next is to fill in the next column with their initials. Let's get Wayne to do some work. Come on, Wayne. The first entry is JM for Joseph Madding. Then it's PT for Paul Tunes. Come on. Keep up. HW is next.
I'm so bored. This has to be the worst job in the world. How many more?
Oh dear. We're typing it all in ourselves. This is the sort of drudgery work you don't want to do yourself. Because flash fill does it for you. You do something as an example, then flash fill will look at what you've done and finish off the whole thing. I'm sorry, Wayne. You only really needed to type the first one to set the example.
What?
Yeah, if it's a simple pattern, then one example is enough. Only do more than one if the pattern is more complicated.
Okay, show me how.
Just click on the first one, JM. Then, go to the Data tab and see if you can spot the flash fill control.
Got it. And you just click? Wow. Awesome. That would have taken me ages. Claire, why did you make me do all that typing?
Because I rather enjoyed watching it. Tee-hee-hee. We've got another one to do. We have to join the first and last names together in reverse order and separate them with a comma.
Let me have a go. I'll just do the first one as an example. That's Madding, Joseph. Then it's flash fill to do the others. Wasn't that easy?
The final thing to show you today is conditional formatting.
That sounds like rocket science. Is it difficult?
No, not really. It's one of those Excel things that looks difficult. But, when you actually do it, you realize that it's dead easy. It's all about applying a format to your worksheet cells, based on a set of rules.
Sounds good. Let's take a look.
Here's my worksheet. As you can see, I have 2 columns with numbers, previous and current. In columns C and D, I've worked out the percentage difference between the two in column E. The difference column is either positive or negative. And what I want to do is show the value in red when it's negative.
Is that red for danger?
Yeah, negative differences are bad news. They really need to stand out. I don't want to have to do the formatting myself, because those numbers are calculated by formulas and are constantly changing. We need to select the cells and set the rule. The rule is going to be, if the value is less than 0. And we're going to have the standard, light red color format.
Can you have any other colors?
Oh yes. You can have any color you like. Wayne, why don't you have a go? I'll talk you through it.
Okay.
Right, select the cells in column E. Then, go to the Home tab and click the Conditional Formatting control.
Got it. Now what do I do?
You want highlight cells rules, and then less than.
Then I type a 0 into the box. Only cells that contain cell value less than.
You're on the ball today, Wayne.
Then format with light red fill with dark red text. And click OK.
Perfect. Now, try changing one of those numbers and see what happens.
I'll change the grease current figure to 1 million.
And you'll see the formatting adjusts to the change.
Fantastic. Claire, you're quite right. It's easier than it looks.
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this short preview. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Hope to see you again soon. Do get in touch if you want any help with your Excel worksheets. Maybe you would like to arrange a training course for yourself or for some of your colleagues. You can drop me a line or phone me on the number shown here. This preview was only a brief guide to our Excel introduction course. Follow the link below if you want to see the full course outline. And don't forget, we can always tailor any training course to suit your own specific requirements. You might like to see the previews for both our Excel Intermediate and Excel Advanced courses. Just follow the links on the screen. And for now, it's a goodbye from me.
And it's a goodbye from me. Bye.